Okay, y'all. Today is going to be a little bit more tough for me because I'm going to be sharing some very I feel like this is off. Let me Okay. Run it back. Okay. So, bear with me today. Today is going to be a little bit more on a serious note because I'm going to be talking about something serious that happened to me. And this is trigger warning for people who have experienced some things when it comes down to dating and all that good stuff. So, I'm going to get into it after I do the whole introduction. But just letting you know, trigger warning. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of In Our Lane. I am your host, Emmeisha. You can follow me everywhere at EMMEISHA. And make sure you follow the podcast at _ In Our Lane. And so, the topic of today, y'all. This topic today is something serious, something real serious. Okay, I'm kind of like crazy because I never spoke about this publicly and I haven't shared this story with a lot of my family members. Like, don't nobody really know. I don't even think I told my mom. I kind of told her, but not really because I just recently, through the past like year, finally understood what happened to me. And at the time, after it happened, I just felt like, oh, it was a date gone wrong. And I was like, I got too drunk or whatever. And I kept blaming myself for what happened and saying like I should have did this but when I sat down and I was talking to another friend and she was telling me about something when I was telling her about it, it made her realize that I was talking about something serious and it was something that she went through as well. And she told me that's rape. And so what happened was, let me just go back. So the topic of the day today is date rape. Date rape is real and it's happening all the time. And I just want to bring awareness to it. And I just feel like it's messed up that somebody feel like they gotta drug somebody in order to try to get something out of that person. So, backstory. I went on a first date with this guy and we went to the movies and that's all we was supposed to do. We was just supposed to go to the movies. But I felt like I was having a good time and he was like, if you're not ready to go home, let's go to a bar and have a drink. So I went and we get to the bar and the bar is a L-shaped bar. And so we were sitting with our backs towards the door. And so every time the door would open, it was a little cold. So I was like, let's go to the other side of the bar. So every time somebody go in and out the door, I won't keep getting cold or whatever. And I feel like in between us transitioning from that side of the bar to that must have been when he slipped it in my drink. Because I just know like after I took that last shot, it's like I was there, but I wasn't there. Like I can see what's going on. Like I can walk and I can talk, but I'm not there. Like it's just like I'm here, but I'm not here. And if this has ever happened to you, I feel like you understand what I'm saying. It's like you're there, but you're not there. It's like I see what's going on, but I'm not really like, I can't really like respond the way that I wanted to respond, and I'm just there. So after the club was ending and I started feeling a little woozy or whatever, we were leaving. I just remember like as I was walking, it just started like to settle in more and more and more. And all I remember is me getting in his car and I'm telling him, I can't drive. Like, don't leave. I just remember saying, like, don't leave me. I can't drive. And he was kept trying to get me in my own car to try to leave me. And I was just, all I remember is just waking up at his house. After that, I couldn't, at the time, like, I couldn't remember nothing else. All I remember is that we left the place and I woke up at his mama's house. And so I don't remember driving off with him. I don't remember, like, how, I don't even know, like, where we was at. I don't know. And so after a while, I'm just thinking over the night, trying to figure out what happened or whatever. Just little bits and pieces started to come back, and I still to this day, like, can't really fully remember what all happened. I just know what he told me. And because I talked to him about it, and then after that I didn't, because I wanted to know what happened. And so from what he told me is that when we got to his car, I had unbuckled his pants and pulled his dick out and started sucking his dick. And then I threw up on his dick. And that's when I passed out. And then that's when he drove me to his mama house because he didn't know what else to do because I was not responsive and I wasn't waking up. So I'm just like, that don't sound like me. Like, I'm just not that type of person. I'm not that aggressive. So I just feel like for me to unbuckle your pants and pull your dick out, I feel like that's a stretch. What I feel like happened was he pulled his dick out and guided me towards his dick, and then I threw up because I was drunk or under whatever he put in my drink or whatever that was, I threw up. So that's what I feel like happened, is that he tried to force me to do it and I threw up and got it all over him in the car and stuff, and he didn't know what to do, so he just took me to his mom's house. And I had to, when I finally, like, became conscious again, I called to see who could come get me because I had left my car at the bar place. And so I needed to call somebody to come pick me up to take me to get my car so that I could go home. My mom was at work at the time. It's just everybody wasn't. I had my dad end up being the person who came and picked me up and took me to my car, and luckily, that's all that happened. And then again, I still don't know if that's all that happened, and I just know that at the end of the day, I'm happy that it didn't really, like, affect me too much. But now that I understand the seriousness of it and what really happened to me, it's sad. And it's like, I don't know, I just feel like whenever you meeting somebody, you're dating or whatever, you never think that could happen to you, but it did. And for a long time I really tried to be like, oh well, maybe I shouldn't have drunk too much. But when I think about it, I only took 2 shots. And I just don't understand, like, why he would do that. I still don't understand why anybody would do something like that. I don't know, y'all. But all I gotta say is I just feel like if something like that happens to you, you need to go the proper route and do something about it. I feel like if I would have understood what happened to me earlier, then I would have definitely pressed charges and held him accountable for his actions. But because of the whole, like, statute of limitations, all of this stuff, I kind of gotta, like, just let it go. But yeah, like, I just want everyone to be safe out here. I want you to be cautious of who you're around. And I understand that you just never know, and it could happen to anybody. But that's why I feel like I'm just so cautious now when it comes down to like letting people into my space. And it's like, I don't know, I gotta watch people because you just never know. But yeah, so that was my story. Um, when, guys spiked my drink. And yeah. Okay. So uh I don't know. It's just like a lot that I want to say, but at the same time, it's just like that's just a lot of hurt and anger, and I'm not gonna allow what happened to me to define who I am or make me feel like I'm less than or anything, because don't nobody deserve that mess. And I just want people to feel understand something. You don't have to drug somebody for them to want to do stuff with you. It's somebody out there for you that is going to like you genuinely, and it's going to be someone who, you know, would have sex with you. They don't even got to like you. Like, you could get coochie now. Like, it's out here for you to get if that's what the end goal was. You don't have to manipulate an innocent person just to get a nut. I just feel like that's wild. That's crazy. But yeah, I'm kind of like shaking while I'm telling this. But yeah, it's sad, and I'm just happy that that's all that happened. And honestly, it's like, even if there wasn't all that happened, like I said, I still don't know. Cause that's how blacked out I was, to the point where it's like I don't remember. Yeah. So I'm gonna just head over to the next segment. Let's talk about it. All right, so this episode is gonna be me talking about my experience with these guys, because it's real out here. And so let's talk about it. Let's talk about when someone tries to make you feel like y'all are getting in a relationship, make you feeling like y'all are doing the steps, and then all of a sudden he just around all the time. Like, he just always at your spot. He always trying to spend the night, right? Right? And he just don't leave. And next thing you know, you have this roommate that's supposed to be the guy that you're dating or your boo thing or whatever. And he just move himself in. Like, I feel like people really be out here taking advantage of people's kindness. And it's like, I try my best not to judge people for whatever season they're in their life, because I understand, like, I go through stuff too. I've been there, I've done that, and I don't ever want somebody to not give me a chance because I might not be at, the peak, moment of my life, because life is, you're gonna constantly go up and down like this. It's not just one straight thing. So I understand, everybody had their moments, but it gets to a point where it's pure manipulation, and it's pure, just feeling like you could get over on somebody and feeling like somebody owe you something, and don't nobody owe you nothing. And so the guy that I'm speaking of, we went on a date. Then after that date or whatever, we just was kicking it. Then I finally invited him over. And so we just, getting to know each other, just chilling. He spent the night one time, and I'm like, okay, whatever, that's cool, that's normal, right? Then it went from him spending the night one night at a time to he left, come back. Now he's spending 2 nights in a row. Okay. Then next thing you know, 3 nights in a row, 4 nights. And I'm like, all right, like, it's cool having you here and everything, but you got to go. At some point, it's like, I need my space. He eventually was there for like 3-4 nights at a time. And I'm just like, I can't do this. Like, you spending the night every now and then is cool. Or I was like, how I brought up the conversation, I was just like, I've noticed that, for, the past couple, days or whatever, you've been spending the night over here. Like, how about we switch it up and we go over your place? And so this is where everything started getting everything started coming up. The truth started coming out. Come to find out, he don't got nowhere to stay. And he had been staying in his car, or getting a hotel room or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, you don't have a family member that you could talk to them and see if, they'll let you, stay with them until, things get a little bit better. He was very prideful and was just like, no, I'm not asking nobody for nothing. And these people, my people, for whatever reason, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, that's cool and all, but you can't stay here at the end of the day. So I don't know what you're going to do about that. But I was just like, you got to figure something out, because you can't stay here. Like, you spending the night was cool, but now that I see that you just really need a place to stay, it's not going to fly with me. So I was like, listen, I'm going to give you a couple of days to figure out what your situation going to be. And we'll go from there. But you got to go. I was like, you just can't stay here. And a week go by, 2 weeks go by, and I'm like, all right, so what's the plan? Like, you've been here for 2 weeks. And I guess me continuously bringing it up started making him mad. And so it's just like, he would literally just scream at me. And like, anytime I say anything to him that makes him upset, like, he was literally yelling at me. And like, a few times when we would be going back and forth or whatever, he would be looking like he finna hit me. And I'm like, hold on now, that's what we not finna do. And so I just constantly reminded him, hey, it's been this amount of time. I already told you I'm not comfortable with you staying here like that. And I just really need you to figure out what you're going to do. Because now it's like we're not even dating. It's like he's literally just here. And I just don't know what to do. And it's like, I want, like, everything in me just wanted to just like grab all his stuff and just leave it outside. So then when he came back, it's just all his stuff outside. But I felt like, because I saw how his anger was, I didn't want to provoke him to make him eventually do something even worse to me. So long story short, he ended up being there for like a whole 2 months before he left. And the reason why he officially left this time is because I was just fed up. And I was just like, today is the day that you finna get your stuff and leave. And he was just like, no, I just need a little bit more time. And I was like, I don't care about none of that. I was like, either you get your stuff and leave, or I'm finna call my people and they finna get your stuff and make you leave. And he ain't like that. So he started getting all up in my face. This nigga like charged at me like he's finna headbutt me. Like, I was just like, whoa. So after, I was just like, this is just too much. I don't even know how we got here. And it's just like, at the end of the day, the man didn't even really want to be with me for real. He just literally needed a place to stay. Because I had asked him, I was just like, do you even like me? Like, do you even see us being together or whatever? And he was just like, I mean, we cool, but you could stay at my house though. Like, we not working to be together, but you can eat up my food. This man didn't help me put groceries in the house. He didn't put in on the rent. I was like, if you're going to be here, at least help me out and give me half of the rent. Like, if you're going to be here, at least do something. He didn't want to pay. Every time First he said he would, and then when the first came around and I was like, all right, send me this amount, he ain't have it. And I was just like, so what are we doing? Because that's what we not finna do. You not finna eat up all my food. You not cooking. You not cleaning. I'm washing your dirty ass drawers. No, like I was just like, no. Every day I woke up and I told him, I don't want this. I don't want you here. I need you to figure it out. And every day he would go back and forth with me. And I got to a point where I was just like, you know what? I'ma just cool. Just be cool and just play my cards right and get this man up out my house. So I finally got him out, and when he finally left, he was sitting, he didn't have his, I forgot this part of the story, y'all. So one night he went out and he got drunk and totaled his car. And so at that point, he thought that now, not only are you living with me and I didn't even invite you to do that, now you're expecting me to be your form of transportation. That's where you got me all the way fucked up. You think I'm finna wake up and take you to work every day and come pick you up to work every day? You don't put no gas in my car. You got my oil changed one time and thought that was your little thing. Every time we got into it, you acting like I don't help you. Nigga, you got my oil changed. Do you want the money back? Cause come on now, like he just was a whole other thing. So he expected me to take him wherever he wanted to go, whenever he needed to go, pick him up. He just wanted me to do everything for him, and he was doing nothing for me. And I just feel like I was too freaking nice. And I just feel like, I don't know. I was honestly scared because I just didn't know what he was capable of, because he constantly reminded me that he was in the army and he was a sniper and he can do whatever to me at any moment and da 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 da. And I'm just like, what did I get myself into? Like, how did I get here? Like, how did one date, like I said before, how did one date turn into a man staying in my place, uninvited, turn into him expecting me to be his whole woman, and he didn't even want to be with me? And I just be rethinking sometimes and just be like, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? And it's crazy because I did like him at first, but it's just like once the truth started coming out and I started really seeing like how he really act after all of the facade went away, I was just like, that's crazy. Like, people really be out here acting like one way and then they're really another, and it's so crazy to me. And the fact is, like, I just hate that I let it go on for so long. I just really hate that. I just really felt bad for the man. Like, at the end of the day, that's just what it was. I just really felt bad for him, and I tried to be as nice as possible, because who wants to be homeless and be out on the street? And if the roles were reversed, I just feel like he wouldn't have had the same amount of grace for me. I just honestly feel like it wouldn't have played out like that. I don't know, y'all, but ladies, be safe out here and ask the right questions up front. And when you see the red flags, listen to them, because it was so many red flags that I ignored from the beginning. And I just feel like, I don't know, I learned my lesson, and I learned how to speak up for myself more. That situation taught me to really put my foot down, and when I say no, that means no. Luckily, he never forced himself onto me, like sexually or nothing like that. But I don't know. Y'all. That was a tough situation. So don't just be letting these niggas stay up in y'all house, y'all. Don't do that. I went through it, so you ain't got to go through it. Okay. All right. It's so much more I could say about that situation, but I'm gonna keep it cute and keep it moving. All right, so places to go, things to do. I went to Tennessee this year, Gatlinburg. I hope I'm saying that right. Tennessee, and it was fun. I tried moonshine for the first time, and when I tell you drunker than a motherfucker, like that moonshine is a whole nother level. When I tell you we was on that little strip lit, okay? Margaritaville don't owe us nothing, okay? Yeah. Yeah. Go to Tennessee and try that moonshine. Cause you could go to when you go on the strip, they have the moonshine tasting places, and you could just literally just go in there, pay $5, and you could taste all the different kinds. And the shot's not that big, but it don't take much of moonshine to get you there. So be careful when y'all drinking that moonshine now. What else did we do while we was out there? Oh, we did the escape room. That was fun. We didn't make it out, but that's cool. It was still a fun experience, just being able to like try to figure it out and having to work together. And even though we was yelling and screaming and going all over the place, but it was fun. What else did we do? Our cabin was really nice. We it had 3 stories, jacuzzi. Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, did I really eat good while I was out there? I feel like, I don't know, nothing's really standing out to me, because usually if we go to a restaurant that was really nice, I would remember. But I don't remember. So I guess food was like, or whatever. But everything closes pretty early out there. So keep that in mind. When you're out there, everything closes early. Ain't nothing open late. And we tried to go to like even the one little club that they have out there. And they close early. They last call for drinks was like at 11:45. And I'm like, we just got here. So just keep that in mind. And the DJ, he was playing some good songs, and he was acting stank, like he didn't want to get requests or nothing. So I don't know what that was about, but overall, we had most of our fun in the cabin, and we was lit in the cabin. And so that's what you do when you go to the cabins, right? Emmeisha's playlist. Okay, so this is the segment where I share the music that I've been listening to. And lately, let's see. Ooh, Touching by Honey Baby. I really like that song. That song is really good. Of course, Glorilla dropped, and it's 7 p.m. Friday, 95 degrees. I ain't got no nigga, and no nigga ain't got me. Period. She ate that one up. Let's see what else. Let's see. Okay, so Lady London, her project is really, really good. Her Taurus song, I'm like, girl, why you read me like that? Like, I know I'm stubborn. I know I'm hard-headed. But you didn't have to go that hard on me like that. But I really love that song. She did a really good job at describing how a Taurus is. And yeah, she hit all the points for sure. And I'm gonna give y'all one more song that I've been listening to lately. Let's see. I'm cold in here now. At first I was hot. I'm just gonna go with this one. Big Mood by Bree Trilla. I really like that song too. Okay, so I gave y'all some good music to listen to. Yeah. All right. So asked Misha. So someone had asked me, how do I feel about HBCUs versus PWIs? And my initial response is that whenever choosing a school, I feel like you should go wherever you could afford to go. That's just bottom line. So, yeah, you might want to go somewhere, but is that a financially smart decision for you to do? And if you're willing to take out the loans and get in debt to go to that dream school that you want to go to, because HBCUs are expensive, they're not cheap, especially depending on which one you go to. The amount that I paid, well, first of all, let me just be clear. I had scholarships and grants that helped a lot. But at the end of the day, even with my scholarships and grants, if I would have went to Spelman like I wanted to, the amount that I came out of pocket for 4 years of college would have just been 1 year at Spelman. So you see the difference. Like, it's just, I just felt like I didn't want to get in that much debt to go to school. I felt like it was just a better move for me at the time for me to go to a PWI because they were offering me the most money, and I just made that decision for me. However, I do wish that I did have the HBCU experience. If I could do it all over again, I would be like, take all the money out. I'm getting every loan, every scholarship, every grant I possibly can. But I made the best decision for me at the time, and I'm happy that I did what I did. But yeah, I feel like the HBCU experience is something that I would never understand because I didn't experience it. But from what I hear from other people, it's a really life-changing experience, and just being around all of that Black excellence is just something serious. And you're gonna build so many good relationships regardless of which way you go. And being that I went to two PWIs, I feel like the Black community at those schools were so strong that I didn't really feel like I missed out on anything. Because especially at West Georgia, when I went to West Georgia, like, the Black community, we was thick, and it's like, I just wasn't really, only time I was really around people who didn't look like me was when I was in class. Outside of class, when I'm doing stuff and going places, I'm around brown and Black people. That's just, I guess that's just what we do. Like, we just link up like that. And so I don't know, I just felt like I didn't miss any. I wasn't, it wasn't like I was totally isolated and I was the only Black girl, or like one of the only Black girls. It was a lot of Black students that went to the schools that I went to. So I don't know. I think I like the fact that I was able to be around people who didn't look like me and be able to hear the different perspectives from people who grew up completely different than I did. I feel like it was also, just very eye-opening to be able to see how other people perceive me, or people who look like me, and just being able to have those conversations with just different types of people. Because at the end of the day, when we go out into this world, we're not just interacting with Black people. You have to work with people from all over the world. And so I feel like that's one thing that I was able to do, is to learn how to communicate with people who have a language barrier, who, culturally just think and move differently. I feel like that was cool. So I would just say, when it comes down to choosing between the HBCU and the PWI, just really look at what the school has to offer and if it fits your goals. And I always tell y'all to remember that just because you go to one school your freshman year doesn't mean you have to stay there. You can always transfer. I transfer after my sophomore year. So it's like, you don't have to stay where you at if you don't like it, if it doesn't fit you. you can move. And that's the good thing about it. So, yeah, let's close the show out. Y'all know I got to remind you to stay in your lane. And today I just want to go back to the beginning and remind you niggas that you don't have to manipulate and take advantage of somebody to get what you want in this world. You really don't. If you just be a good hearted person and just be good to people and all that good stuff, it's going to come back to you. That's just how it works. You put out good is going to come back. I think you guys need help. Yeah. So ladies, make sure that if you ever find yourself in any of those type of situations that I mentioned before, that you pour into your support system and allow them to help you, and don't feel like you're in this alone. Don't feel like you got to keep it to yourself. Tell somebody. Please tell somebody. I wish I would have spoken up and told somebody ahead of time. But it's still processing, and it's just like, I still be in disbelief that that happened to me. I just can't believe that. Yeah. So get the help that you need. Take all the time that you need to heal, because I feel like it's a constant journey. It's like I constantly have flashbacks about it, and just little, I'm referring to when the guy had spiked my drink. I'm constantly just remembering bits and pieces here and there. And so it's something that I'm going to have to deal with for the rest of my life. And I'm just learning how to just cope with it and just understand that it happened and I'm okay and I'm healthy. And I just pray that don't ever happen again. So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of In Our Lane. Like I said, you can follow me at EMMEISHA, and you can follow the podcast at _In Our Lane. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.